Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is your weekly update for the week of the 28th. It is my birthday week. I'm so excited. Thank you all for the early birthday wishes. Not super excited about my solar return chart for this year because the Mars Pluto opposition is going to be in it, but it's it's fine, it's all divine. So that is how I am approaching my solar return chart for this year. Anyways, so this week we have things that, oh my god, we've been waiting to happen. I've been waiting to happen for a little bit. We have Mars post shadow ending on May 2nd, and we have Venus going back into Aries on April 30th. So those are the two biggest things happening this week. We're gonna have on Monday the moon transit over Uranus, so there could be some sudden unexpected changes in terms of your finances, maybe even related to intentions you're setting with this new moon today in Taurus. Like it's really all kind of about money right now, and what are you doing to just step into a new frequency of receiving or relating to money in general. If you have been following along my journey on Instagram or elsewhere, you know I'm launching my business course right now. It's called Get Paid for Your Gifts, and I transparently openly talked about my money and my income that I've made with this business teaching astrology and human design, and y'all really loved it. It's very Taurus, very Taurus season, very new moon in Taurus. Things are really in the collective about money right now. How are we making it? How are we spending it? And how can we establish security through the economic changes that we're all experiencing? So I feel like it's really just a collective focus right now. And I am just so excited that I'm just so excited to be launching my business course right now, and that me sharing and being transparent about my income with you guys is really inspiring for you, because it is something I've been like nervous to share, because I've seen people talk about money in the online space in really like scammy ways. Like, oh, this is how I make 100K in a month, and if you pay me $10,000, this is how I'll help you make 100K in a month, and like things like that that just seem really scammy. So I have this like weird kind of thing that I'm working through around sharing my income transparently, because I know it is inspiring for you guys to hear that I make multiple six figures from this business that I've only had for 5 years. And I've made multiple six figures consistently over the past 2 years. I tripled my income from 2022 to 2023 because of things that I've automated within this business, and just like how I've been showing up and sharing myself in the online space. And I share transparently to inspire you that you could do the same thing. Like, if I could do this, anyone can do this. And that's what I'll be teaching you in my business course, Get Paid for Your Gifts. So if you're called, the early bird pricing will end soon. If you want to join, enrollment is open. Enrollment will close though on May 9th. So if you want to join us this time around, the link is going to be in the description. And yeah, I'm just excited to like share my business secrets with you guys, because it's been a long time coming. I've wanted to launch something like this for a while, and it just feels like the time is here. And it's how these transits are all showing up in my chart too. Like there's a lot of pressure from all these transits in my chart right now that's like pushing me to do this and to share this with y'all, and like saying that it's time, even though my ego has like procrastinated doing it just because of like fears I have, and I've never launched something like this. I've really just stuck to astrology and human design. So anyways, stepping into more of the teaching entrepreneurship, teaching business realm, and I'm really excited about it, even though I'm equally scared because it's new. It's something I've never done before, and I'm a 1-3 profile. So new things can, and a Taurus. My birthday's tomorrow, so new things can be a little bit challenging for me. But anyways, let's get into the transits of this week. We're going to start as always with Aries Rising, and I also, like I said, feel like that's really what the transits are pushing us all to do right now, is to step into something we may be fearful about, something we may have like put off or been scared to do. Like really these transits are pressuring us to step into it, to do it. To share it with the world, because it needs to be shared. And we're in this big transitional energy of, as I've talked about in various other YouTube videos recently, and every I feel like I talk about this in every single content I've been creating recently, piece of content I've been creating, but these transits are really propelling us into something new, and that's really uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to be in the liminal space of like, okay, what I was doing was no longer working, and now I have to try something else, and that's scary because I've never done it before. I've never tried it before. Like, how's it gonna? I don't know how it's gonna work out, right? Because it's not comfortable. It's not safe. It's not known. It's very much unknown, and the ego mind does not love that at all. So these transits are really uncomfortable, but it's propelling us into something that is meant for us. It's propelling us into something that otherwise we wouldn't step into, right? If we're never made to feel uncomfortable, we're never going to grow, and we're never going to evolve into like something that could be better for us, short term and long term, right? What is that quote that's like, you always regret the chances you never took, or something like that. I don't know if you know the exact quote, comment it, because I do not remember quotes ever exactly like that. I'm right brained in human design. But anyways, so really just step into what is calling you right now, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it is unknown, right? Because that's what these transits are really pushing us towards. So let's start with the weekly horoscopes. We're starting with Aries as always. So Aries, we start the week off with the moon in Taurus in your second house. This is especially about money for you. I mean, that just amplified. There could be some big shift on Monday that happens around money where you really change your perception of money or relate to it differently in your life. Of like, okay, well, I need to raise my prices, or I need to do this, or I need to do that in order to like have more money, or to have a better relationship with money and my financial security, my financial health, my material possessions, things like that. Like, there's really a big push for you, Aries, to do something differently, and it's going to positively affect your money. And then on Tuesday, the moon moves into your third house, into Gemini. So this could be a day where you're really starting to feel more expressive, maybe related to what came up on Sunday and Monday of like, okay, now is the time to really share my gifts in a new way, or to raise my prices so that I actually feel aligned with what I'm getting paid to share what I want to share, and you communicate that with people, right? You could also be like really busy this week, Aries rising, with socializing, with things that you have maybe work related or not, but it feels like time is almost kind of escaping you, especially as the moon moves through your third house. That could especially be so on Wednesday as the moon moves over Jupiter, but there could be some challenge or conflict with subconscious beliefs, with maybe even like your mind getting in the way of you acting on something that you really want to do, something that really does feel expansive, but your mind wants to come in and be like, oh, like we shouldn't take action on this, or we shouldn't do this for whatever reason. So just yeah, make sure you're not not giving that power away to the mind. Then on Thursday, Aries, the moon moves into Cancer, into your fourth house. You could be really focused on your home. You could be really like, you could organize, you could declutter, you could just be doing a lot more self care stuff at your home. This could be a good time to get some type of like photo shoot in the works too, as Venus starts to transit your first house again. Or you might be gaining clarity on like some new values, new sense of worthiness that you're stepping into. It could feel like something really clicks, especially as we get into like later in the week as Venus starts to move away from Neptune. Because as Venus is on Neptune, things could feel a little spacey in that department. But I do feel like you'll be feeling a lot more intuitive on Thursday and Friday. Okay, so Friday we have Venus is again moving through your first house. You're gonna have the moon in Cancer challenge Chiron in your first house, and also challenge Mercury in your first house as well. So this could be a day on Friday where you feel kind of like, just watch your tone or the battles that you pick, because there could be a tendency for emotional aggression, or just kind of like saying something too quickly, too rashly, and then you're like, ooh, I wish I didn't say it that way. So just kind of, maybe give yourself some alone time or some space in nature on Friday, because it could feel like there's wounds or triggers that are brought up that you might not like the way you handle those, especially if it comes through other people, which it tends to do. So just watch out for, projecting your emotional triggers or things like that on Friday. And then Saturday, it feels like there's some, again, breakthrough with like what you've been doing in terms of a creative project or a belief system, a subconscious wound. It feels like Friday kind of, gave you the opportunity to look at something deeper in yourself that you're like, okay, I'm actually glad this came up so I could look at it and heal from it and not take it forward with you into like the new chapter. And then Sunday, the moon moves over Mars and into your fifth house in Leo. So you could be feeling a lot of creative passion or just a lot of momentum towards a creative project after that emotional thing that comes up. Aries on Saturday and Sunday, things could really shift in your favor in terms of like creative pursuits or passions. There could also be some big transformation that like propels you into something creative that really like pushes you to do something differently so that you don't keep creating the same experiences in your life that you want to break free from. So that's the week for you, Aries. Let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Taurus Rising. We start the week off on Monday with the moon in your first house. This could be you really feeling emotionally sensitive. It could also be like you setting intentions around stepping into a new identity, a new version of yourself. There could be some big shift or breakthrough that happens around that on Monday of like this emotional clarity. That might come through a friend or might come through social media or your community in some way, and maybe even give you insight around a long-term vision or goal you've been working towards. Tuesday feels like the focus kind of shifts to your money. It could be related to what came up on Monday, and you're like, okay, I actually want to create a stream of income related to this, or I want to step into some new job or career related to this. The moon is going to harmonize with Pluto in your 10th house too. So this is really like telling you to step into some new type of career or pursuit in business or how you're making money and how you're sharing your ideas and your information to make money, because that's really what you're meant to be doing, Taurus, or like at least one way of money and making money that you could really step into that's aligned for you based on your chart is the sharing of ideas and information, whether it's writing or speaking, creating content, whatever it is. You're really here to like share information and ideas with people. So this could give you a push and a boost to do that on Tuesday. Wednesday, that could also be heightened as the moon moves over Jupiter in your second house. But there could be some friction that comes from your community or comes from your friends, or it comes through like social media, like your app just isn't working or something like that. That's like, oh, but I want to do this, and so there's maybe a conflict or a challenge that doesn't really last long, but could be there kind of testing you, like, are you really serious about doing this? Are you going to push through any barriers you face, like any small inconveniences? Are you going to push through them to really do and pursue what you want? Then on Thursday, the moon moves into your third house, into Cancer, so you might be feeling more Venus moves into your 12th house. You might be feeling more like hermiting on Thursday. You might also be feeling more like spending time with friends in a nourishing way, or doing things like running certain errands that are nourishing for you, like going to a bookstore if that feels really nourishing, or just going somewhere to getting like, I don't know, getting a good soup or a good sandwich, or going to get a massage. Like it feels like you're going to be focused towards the end of the week on self-care a lot more. Maybe you realize you haven't been prioritizing that enough and you're needing to come back to it, kind of thing. That could be heightened on Friday as the moon challenges Mercury in your 12th house. There could be some breakthrough around a subconscious belief that comes too. Like you have this realization, like while you're sitting in you're on the massage table and you have this realization, like, ooh, I don't know. You'll have to let me know like how that resonates, Taurus, in the comments, because that's really specific. But I feel like on Friday there's going to be some disclosing or awareness around a wound, a trigger that maybe had been like running underneath like running in your subconscious, you didn't realize, and it's coming up for you to like really see it so you can feel it. It might be something you talk to with a friend too. You talk through with a friend as well. Then on Saturday, the moon moves into your fourth house, into Leo. So you could be really focused on just prioritizing things in your home life, your family, things like that. You could be feeling like a lot more creative through whatever you did, whatever you prioritized early in the week. You could be feeling this like creative push to do something or change something about your home, or just maybe even like, I don't know, create something new in your career. Like there's this big push to act on some sort of transformation on Saturday. Then Sunday, that's kind of amplified. You might just be feeling a lot more creative and like forward momentum this weekend. Like a lot of things just feel like they're moving forward a lot quicker than you maybe expected them to be. And it might kind of be something that's a little disorienting at first. Like, oh, I kind of thought this was going to go more slowly than I wanted it to. Um, Wait, does that make sense? It's like it's going too fast and you're like, wait, I didn't I like I you know, I wanted things to happen, but not this fast. Like I feel like I'm going crazy because things are like maybe chaotic. That's how the weekend could go for you, Taurus. So let me know how that resonates in the comments. I feel like that was a very specific message for somebody. So let me know, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Gemini Rising. We start the week off with the moon in your 12th house. There could be some breakthrough or clarity around how you want to share your psychic gifts, or help people heal, like from the past life regression or subconscious wounds, things like that. There could be some big emotional breakthrough shift around how you want to make money related to those types of things, related to the occult, related to spirituality, related to healing. Something like that could come through on Monday. Maybe even related to intentions you set around the new moon or realizations you had around the new moon. Then on Tuesday, the moon moves into your first house, into Gemini. So you could be feeling more like sharing, like from these breakthroughs that you experience, like, oh, I need to do this, like sharing your voice more, sharing your ideas, sharing your information more. You could be feeling more emotionally sensitive as well as the moon is moving through your first house, but it is going to be like this momentum to focus on what you're sharing, what you're doing, and how you're sharing yourself with the world. Then on Wednesday, that could be amplified as the moon moves over Jupiter. You might be feeling really emotionally expansive. That could there could be some conflict between that and your career. Maybe something you shared didn't land the way you wanted it to, but I like to say that there's no such thing as bad press. So just keep going, just keep pushing forward, and like your stuff is always going to reach the people it's meant to. um Big themes for you, Gemini, right now, of like what you're doing in your career and how that's making you money, especially as the moon moves into your second house on Thursday. Like there's this big push of like, okay, what am I doing to create income for myself? Does it feel nurturing? Does it feel supportive? Does it feel like what I want to be doing? Am I doing what I want to help people? There could be some conflict on Friday, maybe related to what came up on Wednesday, between your money and your social media. This could like be, again, that thing that you didn't land the way you wanted it to. It could be like, well, it brings you a lot of new clients, even if like what you see on the post itself, like people were hating on it or disagreeing with it or whatever, it like brings you money somehow. So let me know how that resonates with you, Gemini, in the comments, because that's pretty specific. That could come through on Friday, Saturday. um Saturday, the moon moves into your third house, into Leo, and it will be opposite Pluto. So there's this big push to just continue creating, to continue sharing what you're sharing with the world, to continue pushing. Venus is going to be in your 11th house now, too. So again, there's this big momentum to be sharing yourself online, to be putting yourself out there, or putting yourself out there into a community, creating some type of spiritual community, or something like that, where there's like you're creating support for people around shared values, shared passions, things like that. And it feels like something big could come together this weekend around that, as the moon is moving through your third house of communication. You could be feeling like really busy suddenly too. Like what you shared earlier in the week, like went viral, even though some people really didn't like it. It like brought you a lot more business, and now you're like really busy from all of that business and everything that like came from that seemingly like bad thing. Does that make sense? So that's the week for you, Gemini. That's really exciting. Let me know how it resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Cancer Rising. We start the week off on Monday with the moon in your 11th house. You could be spending time with friends. You could be really focused on, like, okay, what kind of community do I want to have? Does it feel nurturing? Does it feel supportive? Or what are your long-term goals and visions? And maybe making some revisions around your long-term visions and your long-term goals and things. There could be some sudden breakthrough that comes on Monday that you're like, oh, okay, this is actually like my long-term goal, or this is actually what I want it to look like, that you get more clarity around on Monday. It may be something that, it's building on the new moon, or what you kind of realize with that on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, as the moon moves into your 12th house, into Gemini, you could be feeling this big, like, spiritual awakening, or this big push to really, like, come back to your spiritual practices, or meditation, or yoga, or something that really helps you, like, to connect to God, or the divine, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It feels like there's this big push to just remember your connection to a higher power on Tuesday. Something that is gonna, like, help you feel more at peace and get more answers and clarity if there's still any lack of clarity or answers around what you're doing or moving forward with in your career. On Wednesday, the moon's going to move over Jupiter in your 12th house. So, again, there could be this big expansion in terms of your spiritual pursuits or practices, things like that. There could be, like, if you started to meditate again, there could be, like, this big revelation you have in a meditation that kind of, like, challenges a belief system, or challenges something about, like, how you were viewing life before. And then on Thursday, the moon moves into your first house. So you could be feeling more sensitive during this time, as the moon is moving through your first house of you. You could be feeling more focused too on, okay, how do I really nurture, like, my body, myself? How have I been neglecting myself? Maybe through a career pursuit. As Venus is going to move back into your 10th house, you're getting clarity on, like, okay, this is what really needed to change about my career, or how I'm showing up, in the workspace, and you're getting clarity on what that was, and how to, like, show up differently there, and how to embody, like, what you reevaluated. And so there could be, conflict with your emotional health, and, like, what you're maybe doing in your career, or what you kind of have to do just to, like, finish things up or whatever, until you can really, like, take the action that's needed to make the changes that you realize you want to make. That could be amplified on Friday, as there could be some emotionally heated conversation that comes up as well on Friday, that really, like, challenges you to again, like, prioritize more care for yourself. And then on Saturday and through the weekend, Cancer, as the moon is moving through your second house, you're going to be focused more on maybe a new income stream, or just, like, really focused on your money, because that's where all this kind of friction that's been in the sky is putting tension on you, is your money, your resources, how are you managing it, your material possessions, things like that. So there could be an emotional breakthrough that comes on Saturday around that, and that you really learn to kind of get a grip on and start to integrate over the weekend. It might be related to your career, like how you need to maybe kind of, or you want to work smarter, not harder, kind of thing. And just take some time maybe for some other passions or other projects that you've maybe been putting off. So that is the week for you, Cancer Rising. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Leo Rising. We start the week off with the moon in your 10th house. This is a big time of realizations about career shifts, or setting intentions around a new career, or just showing up differently in the online space, or from what you've been doing in your career. Like, just maybe making small adjustments or changes, or embodying something new. Maybe you've been going through a rebranding or something, and you're, like, really stepping into it this week and getting clarity this week. Maybe with the new moon you set intentions around it, and on Monday it kind of all comes together. There's this big maybe emotional breakthrough there and shift that happens. That amplifies on Tuesday as the moon moves into your 11th house, into Gemini. So you could be getting more clarity, or just be focused on, okay, what are my long-term goals and visions, and how is what I'm changing or doing in my career and everything else kind of affecting that or like supporting it or not? And what do I need to kind of change or remedy? That could be amplified on Wednesday as the moon moves over Jupiter in your 11th house and kind of challenges what's in Pisces in your 8th house. This could be related to like investments or taxes or something like that, where you're like, okay, I really need to expand my awareness of what's possible, especially as Venus is moving back into your 9th house. Like, this could be a big shift around your belief systems or your philosophies of life as it relates to like what you're doing in your career and how it's making you money. Then on Thursday, the moon moves into your 12th house into Cancer. So there could be some just focus on emotional health, on your mental health, spiritual health as well. Like, you're realizing like, okay, in in doing this thing and putting a lot of energy and intention towards this new thing or this change, I've really neglected my mental health. I've really neglected like taking care of myself in the ways that I need to. And so you're kind of realizing you need to come back to that on Thursday and especially Friday, as there's going to be something challenging your maybe your belief systems, maybe what came up during the Mercury retrograde of that's related to this. And then on Saturday, the moon moves into your first house, into Leo. So you might be feeling more emotionally like yourself. You might be feeling more emotionally sensitive as well. But there's this big push and pressure to make some sort of identity shift or step into a new version of yourself. You might be really feeling the pressure to do that, and it might be coming through other people in your life. Or you might have experienced a lot of change in the people that are around you, and it's related to like this new identity that's emerging in yourself, and you might be getting more clarity around what that is or how to step into it, doing the emotional work to clear out the old and bring in the new over the weekend. So that is the week for you, Leo. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Virgo Rising, we start the week off with the moon in your 11th house. Let me get the right chart up here. Sorry, the moon in your 9th house. So there could have been something that came up with the new moon in Taurus around your belief systems, around your philosophies of life, around like what you want to change there. And that could come to a head, or there could be an emotional breakthrough around that on Monday as the moon moves over Uranus there. There could be some big release of an identity of an old version of you that like just doesn't align with your goals anymore, with your vision anymore, as well on Monday. And then Tuesday, the moon moves into your 10th house. You could start to be getting really busy with work. You could start to really be focused on your career, sharing ideas, sharing information in new ways, like really maybe putting out content, like doing things that are like really going to propel your career forward in ways that maybe you've procrastinated or put off for a while, and you're really being like pressured or just kind of like nudged very, very intensely to do it, to take action on it. And that's going to be amplified on Wednesday as the moon moves over Jupiter and Gemini. There could be an influx of clients. There could be an influx of work that kind of suddenly comes in that maybe feels emotionally overwhelming in the moment, but it's kind of like, hey, this is what you've been asking for. Like, this is what you've been wanting. And with Venus moving back into your 8th house, there's a big need for you to embody and integrate any reevaluations that were made in terms of your resources, in terms of, you know, how you're sharing resources versus standing in your own, cultivating your own resources. So there could be a big just integration of that as well that comes through on Wednesday, especially on Thursday. That what came up on Wednesday could be amplified on Thursday, actually, because the moon is going to be challenging Venus as it first moves into Cancer in your 11th house. So this could give you clarity through some sort of like challenge or conflict that happens through shared resources or something like that. It's a very vulnerable thing that maybe comes up, very emotionally vulnerable, that really challenges you early in the day on Thursday to reevaluate your long-term goals, your long-term visions. And again, like, are you doing things and are you putting yourself out there in ways that really align with how you want to be known, what you want to like the way you want to impact the world. Are you really acting in a place that's in alignment with that or not? So there could be just some reevaluations and just some conflicts that promote evolution and growth in those areas. Especially on Friday, there could be some wound around money that's triggered on Friday. That again kind of brings up this need to reevaluate your long-term goals and your long-term visions and maybe dream bigger than you had been before. Saturday and Sunday really feel like a kind of spiritual weekend for you. Feels like this kind of time to go inward as the moon moves through Leo in your 12th house and over Mars, opposite Pluto. It feels like especially Saturday, especially like a time to really kind of just sit in everything that came up earlier in the week, really process it, integrate it, and maybe like call on a higher power to help, if to support whatever it is if needed as well, because there's this major pressure and nudge to change what you've been doing, and it could feel very emotional. There could be an emotional release even around it on Saturday. And then Sunday, the moon challenges the sun in your ninth house. So again, that could just bring up things around your belief systems, give you more clarity around it. It feels like, okay, everything that came up in the week, this is what I'm going to do with it. This is how I'm going to sort it. This is how I'm going to like embody it and make the changes that I need to integrate it in my life. So yeah, that's the week for you, Virgo. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Libra, we start the week off with the moon in your eighth house, on Uranus. So this could be a big shift around money, around resources, around finances, maybe something that you didn't expect, an emotional breakthrough, an emotional release. It could be something that comes through you realizing like, oh, this is what the subconscious block was the whole time or whatever. It could be some belief system thing that shifts that maybe you weren't aware of before, but you get awareness of it, and then it's like, okay, this is what I need to do to shift it, kind of thing. On Tuesday, the moon moves into your ninth house, just furthering that of really like your emotional lens or your emotional awareness around belief systems or philosophies of life that just haven't like supported you and how to change those. It could be related to what you're doing for work, especially on Wednesday. There could be some emotional challenge or conflict that comes up later in the day on Wednesday related to what you're doing for work that really prompts you to look at belief systems or to really like be what is the word, like disciplined with changing how you're viewing the world around you and really viewing the world as like your oyster instead of like think like it's just happening to you, like no, you're actually controlling it. So there could be some big shift that happens around that on Wednesday. Thursday, it feels like you're going to be focused emotionally on your career, on putting things out there in new ways, maybe in supporting, doing more supportive things for people in terms of your career, like nurturing your audience with different a new offer or different offers, or just like you're focused on really nurturing through your career on Thursday. And then on Friday, there could be some breakthrough around that, and it could relate to like what you're doing on a daily basis to take care of yourself as well. This could be like you just opening up and sharing a little bit more vulnerably with your people, like what you actually do on a daily basis, that kind of thing. Or maybe people are asking you for it. And then I feel like you're really going to be like active on social media over the weekend. There could be something that you go out and do that's really fun, or that you just could be feeling this like emotional breakthrough around creativity or passions in some way over the weekend that really like propels you to share more, to put more out there, and just to have more fun with life and make that a part of like your goal. Maybe if you haven't already, like for your long-term success is like, okay, I just need to really like do what's fun. It's really that simple. And then the rest will kind of come together. So I feel like that's the weekend for you, Libra. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Scorpio, we start the week off with the moon in your seventh house. There could be some big breakthrough or shift emotionally in terms of your relationships. I mean, this Mars Pluto opposition has really been putting a lot of pressure on your home and your career, maybe to move homes, in order to have a better career or a different career or vice versa. Like there's a lot of pressure to make shifts, in your home, and it could be coming through your career or through your home, vice versa. It's like your environment, it needs to change so you can have more success in your career. Feels like the major focus. So there could be some breakthrough around that in terms of a relationship or somebody else in your life on Monday. And then on Tuesday, it feels like you're really focused on your kind of finances, maybe getting everything in order, your resources, like really just kind of maybe looking at stuff, looking at where money's going, how it's coming in, how to really maybe just organize it better, or have conversations with people, to be able to organize it better. I don't know how that exactly resonates, Scorpio. Let me know in the comments. But it feels like there's maybe some big conversation around all that kind of stuff that prompts you to make changes or just see things differently. It could be amplified on Wednesday as well as the moon moves over Jupiter in your eighth house. There could be unexpected money that comes in as well, maybe through some creative pursuit, but it feels like it was kind of like it was a challenge. Like there's some challenge that happens as well. It's like maybe, okay, you just need to like accept where you are right now and start to like do the things you've wanted to do creatively. And maybe it's like that's the challenge, is like you're just not doing the things you want to do, and so the money's not coming. But like once you do the thing, like the money's gonna come, right? So maybe that's the challenge. But either way, there's going to be something that pushes you into some sort of emotional expansion that also benefits your resources, your finances. As Venus moves back into your sixth house as well, you could be more focused on integrating and embodying things that came up during the Venus retrograde in terms of your work, how you're sharing yourself. There could again be another conflict or challenge around that relates to your belief systems or your philosophies of life on Thursday that challenges you to really show up differently and put yourself out there. Um, and then on Friday, it feels like there's some miracle or harmony that comes through that as well. Maybe like you really did the thing and it did much better than you expected it, kind of thing. Um, on Friday. Then on through the weekend, the moon's going to be moving through your 10th house. There could be some emotional transformation on Saturday that comes up around your home and like a big release, or around your career that, again, maybe you just like you did the thing and you realize like, oh, this wasn't so bad, and like it went way better than I expected, and like you have some sort of emotional breakthrough or clarity around that, over the weekend. But it feels like a great time as well to be focused on your career over the weekend, and be creating content or whatever it is, and just like sharing yourself more, as Mars and the moon are moving through your 10th house. So that's the week for you, Scorpio. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Sagittarius Rising. We start the week off with the moon in your sixth house. There could be some big emotional shift or breakthrough in terms of your work or your health, what you're doing for money on a daily basis. That's related to your job, how you make money, and also how you're taking care of yourself. Big emotional breakthrough or shift on Monday that kind of surprises you, or just some creative, block that lifts, and you get an idea to do something that's like feels really good, feels really expansive, and maybe pays off financially as well. Tuesday, the moon moves into your seventh house. You could be more focused on socializing, your relationships, in general, like the people you have around you on Tuesday and Wednesday as the moon moves through your seventh house, especially on Wednesday as it moves over Jupiter. But it could feel like that's at conflict with your home or with your family. There could be something that's like there's a challenge there that comes up as well. Then on Thursday, the moon moves into your eighth house. You could be focused on resources, on maybe having an emotionally vulnerable conversation with somebody that like really helps you to heal or see things differently. There could be a focus as well on like what you're doing in terms of your spiritual practices to maybe, support a big transformation in your belief systems or your communication style, or just like where you're going, how you're doing things, really like how you're moving about life. I feel like is this big big shift that's coming up for you, Sagittarius, with this Mars Pluto opposition. It's really in terms of like, okay, how are you going about life? What are you believing that gets to be true for you? So there could be some emotional shift later in the week around that. There could be a trigger that comes up on Friday through some creative pursuit or creative passion. It could also come through like a dating or some type of romantic relationship that really, again, kind of propels you into this vulnerable emotional space in order to like look at that wound, heal it, and not take it with you into the new chapter. And then over the weekend, the moon moves into your ninth house over Mars. So again, some big emotional shift, transformation could come through something you like decide to do, something you decide to just like go for. That feels really like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna stop thinking about it. I'm just gonna do it. And it feels like there's some emotional relief that comes from that, especially on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you might just be focused on, integrating everything that came up earlier in the week. Maybe focused on making some bigger emotional shifts or changes, um, especially as Mars has left pre-shadow. It's like, okay, it's really, really, really like forward momentum time. So that's the week for you, Sagittarius. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Capricorn. We start the week off on Monday with the moon in your fifth house. This could have you focused on some creative pursuit or project. Maybe something new that you're sharing with the world in terms of like a new thing you want to make money from in your business or however that relates. There's a new project that's beginning. You could be later on Monday getting a lot of clarity around what that is or how to act on it or how to put it out into the world. There could be some emotional breakthrough or shift that happens on Monday. And then on Tuesday, you maybe start to share it, you start to communicate it, you start to like put it out there. Tuesday and Wednesday, as the moon moves into Gemini in your sixth house, you might just be like telling more people about it or sharing information, sharing ideas around it. It's like okay, finally, something just clicks. It feels like for you, Capricorn, on Monday, Tuesday, and then you're like, okay, now we run with this. That's like the energy that I'm getting. So let me know how that resonates for you specifically in the comments. But it really feels like this. Oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for moment, and you like run with it, which is really exciting. Um, Thursday, the moon will be moving into your seventh house. So you could be focused on relationships, on other people, maybe even like calling in support through other people or like hiring somebody, or just working with people in a capacity that feels really supportive for you and them. Especially on Friday, but there could be some trigger or something that comes up around that in your home, or your family that just doesn't maybe go the way that you wanted it to, and it kind of brings up this emotional wound or trigger that you didn't realize was still affecting you. And with Venus in your fourth house, now there could be a big focus too on like, okay, what values do you want in your home? What kind of home do you want to create that's aligned with your values, especially as they shifted, as they changed? Um, and how are you embodying that now that Venus has moved back into your fourth house? How are you integrating what came up? Through the weekend, I think you're going to be focused on your resources, maybe just getting things together in terms of your money, organizing stuff, just, putting stuff here, putting stuff there, or you could be investing it in a new way or something like that maybe you've been propelled to, you've been pushed to do, and maybe you've been putting off, or there's been some like story around it that hasn't supported you that you're like, okay, I'm changing this belief, I'm changing the story, and I'm going to actually like take action towards this. So that could come up over the weekend as the moon is moving through your eighth house, and over Mars and Leo, and kind of adding emotional oomph, emotional, what's another word for that? I don't know, adding some emotional energy, I guess, to this Mars Pluto thing for you in terms of like your money, your finances, what you're doing with it, where it's going, and how it's coming in too. Could be going through some big shift. So that's the week for you, Capricorn. Let me know how that resonates in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Okay, Aquarius. We start the week off with the moon in your fourth house, so there could be some intention that you set with the new moon in Taurus of moving or changing your home life in some way, making some shifts with your home or your family. There could be a breakthrough around that later on Monday as the moon moves over Uranus in your fourth house. It could be related to money, how you're making it, whether it's a new job or whether it's a new career kind of thing. You kind of you get this clarity and you're like, oh, this is how I have to do it. This is how I have to like move forward on this. Tuesday, the moon moves into your fifth house, so you could be focused on creating. You could be focused on some sort of new passion that maybe is related to what you're doing in your career, and how you're making changes to that. I feel like there's been a lot of pressure for you, Aquarius, in terms of yourself going through a big change, a big transformation, calling for you to really putting pressure on you, even to really step into a new identity. And it could revolve around what you're doing creatively, how you're sharing your ideas, your information, your skill sets, your knowledge, and maybe stepping into something new around that, especially on Wednesday as the moon moves over Jupiter in your fifth house. You could get some clarity around that. It could come through a conflict or challenge with your finances, whether it's like, okay, the savings are dwindling. I really need to take action on this project. I really need to start this business. I really need to like do something differently because what I have been doing has not been working. And then Venus is going to move back into your third house. So there could be, again, this push to really share ideas or information in a new way and just go about communicating or sharing yourself differently than you have been. On Thursday, the moon moves into your sixth house, so you could be focused on, okay, what is supporting me in terms of my work? What am I doing on a daily basis that's supporting me and nourishing me? That feels like it's really this heartfelt thing that you're doing on a daily basis. Like, what is that for you, and how can you do more of it? This might come up as a challenge earlier in the day on Thursday. That's like a challenge related to the Venus retrograde or your communication, like where you're going on a daily basis that maybe needs to change to take better care of yourself or feel better supported or better nourish yourself, like literally or physically. And then on Friday, that can also be something that you're looking at, that you're getting more clarity around. Maybe something like a conversation that comes up that doesn't go the way that you wanted it to or thought it would, and it kind of is maybe emotionally triggering on Friday and gets you to really reevaluate or look at these things differently. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the moon will be moving. On Saturday, the moon will be moving into your seventh house over Mars and Leo. So there could be some supportive people that come in after things that were frustrating. There could be some support that comes in through a friend or a partner or someone in your life that is close to you, that you're realizing like, oh, okay, like I do have the support. I do have these great relationships around me that are giving me what I need, and I just need to like really listen to it and maybe not be so stubborn. Maybe be a little bit more open-minded about things. So you could be getting a lot of clarity through other people over the weekend about what came up earlier in the week, and like really how to move forward and really how to like we think beginnings are like, okay, ending, beginning. That's not really how it works. Like endings can be drawn out, and we take 10 steps forward and we take 8 steps back, right? That's kind of like how things transition. And so it's kind of feeling like that for you over the weekend, Aquarius. It's like, okay, these things I know, and now I'm like realizing like, oh, I didn't know what I knew now, and now that I do, I can move forward. Does that make sense? So that's the week for you, Aquarius. That's really exciting. Let me know how it resonates, and I'll see you next week. Bree says, me planning to revisit things I used to craft and wanting to share it this week. Ah, it definitely resonates. Amazing. Definitely exactly where I need to be. Boundaries has been big for me. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Pisces Rising. We start the week off with the moon in your third house, so you could be getting a lot of clarity on like how you want to share yourself, how you want to share your ideas, your creations, your passions, and where you're going on a daily basis to be able to do that. You could also get a breakthrough or clarity that comes later in the day on Monday around all of that. That's like, oh, okay, like this is what I was kind of like waiting for, like the aha moment, and it kind of like it all comes together. And then through that, you could be like hermiting Tuesday and Wednesday as the moon moves through your fourth house, like really focused on whatever this is, creating it, sharing it with the world, maybe through your home, maybe even through like going to other people's homes, or I don't know how that shows up. Let me know in the comments, Pisces, not specific. But you could be like socializing with other people and just letting them know, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm sharing, this is what I'm creating, this is like what I got clarity around, kind of thing. But you're also like needing to be at home or be with family as well. That's kind of also a focus on Tuesday and especially Wednesday. There could be something that happens in your home or your family that maybe triggers like a little bit of an identity crisis, like something that it doesn't last very long. It's just like a short little thing, maybe imposter syndrome of like, oh, can I really do this? Can I really like start this thing? Can I really do this career I've been wanting to do? Blah, blah, blah. Is it really going to work? There could just be some little blip of doubt that comes up on Wednesday around whatever this is. And then on Thursday, the moon moves into your fifth house. I feel like you're gonna work through that that doubt or whatever, and really just it's gonna fuel this creative passion. Especially as the as Venus moves back into your second house after the retrograde, like it's time to integrate and embody everything that came up from the retrograde itself in terms of your money, how you're making it, how your worth is playing into it, and really how to kind of like fully step into a new identity. And you're seeing the like the fruit of your labor kind of vibes is what I'm getting. But there could be conflicts around your creativity and money, whether it's feeling restricted in either one, but it does feel like it's going to be a positive evolution and growth for you when you work through the challenge that's presented. There's something that could come up, a conversation that triggers that on Friday as well. Maybe even triggers some wounds around money that were still hiding out in your subconscious, that you didn't realize were still there, and it kind of fuels some creative project or passion. And then through the weekend, the moon will be moving through Leo in your sixth house, kind of again fueling this creative passion or the need to like share it, take action on it, create it, put it out into the world. You could be realizing like, oh, I fell off my meditation and like I really can't do that because it affected my mental health like instantly, kind of thing as well. So you're making the changes that you need to through emotional realizations over the weekend as well. So that is the week for you, Pisces. Let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you next week. That is everybody. Really exciting week. I feel like I say this every week, but like truly there are little excitements every week. And this is like, again, like I was saying with the horoscope for Aquarius Risings, like beginnings don't just happen. There are things that we like start to take little steps towards, and then all of a sudden we're like living that life, right? But it is a transition, and a transition is required, because if we were to just like jump into the next thing, like you know, when you watch a show and there's a new season and you're so confused, I'm like, okay, what the fuck happened? Like in between the two seasons. Right? Like I have to go back and watch the last season now because I have no idea how they just started, and that, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Like we have to like come to these things a little bit more slowly than we'd want to, because that's how it's going to last. That's how we're going to build and have the thing, the new beginning, on a new foundation. A solid foundation is what I mean. A solid, structured, unshakable foundation. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now, right? We're building the foundation. So that is this week. Let me know how your rising sign horoscope resonated in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.